Hello guys, this is ObedFX and I'm going to do a quick breakdown of how I cut this quick 300 pips on what on XAU USD. So the same criteria I always talk about using my ultimate strategy entry models. How do I do directional bias, market structure, inducements, and points of interest? Now let's go straight into it. So this is the setup. Let's move to a different currency for a different broker. Yeah, so let's clear every two. So if you are in my Telegram community, that's why you have to join my Telegram community where I share all my insights. ObedFX Academy, I share everything in the Telegram community. So we sent the buyers. This was today's buyers on XAU USD. This was today's buyers. But the overall buyers of XAU USD, we sent the overall buyers of XAU USD in the Telegram community. So if you are not in the Telegram community, you are missing a lot. You are really, really missing a lot. So this was the setup for XAU USD. I had a very beautiful setup. Aiming for what do I do? I search for now. Someone asks, how do I have this setup? I have my inducement here, my points of interest, everything. So what am I waiting for? I'm just waiting for price to tap me in, and I go in aggressive. When I hit SL, then I wait for confirmation and enter again. So this was the setup on XAU USD. But we won't just show setup. We'll show why I chose this setup. So the last time I explained, so now let's dive into it. The last time I explained that as a scalper, the maximum time frame you have to go is what? 1 hour time frame. So I start from the 1 hour time frame. When I started from the 1 hour time frame, the direction of gold was very, very bearish. So if you are buying, you just have to be scalping some quick buys and off. Right. So this I found my buyers on the 15-minute time frame. This was the buyers I found on XAU USD. This is it. You know how we move it. Price is moving what? Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? So you just wait for what? A lower high, then you join what? The lower low. So this was how at that point price was at this region. It has created a pull down, a pullback. So we just have to find our entry at this region and join the drop. So it was a quick move. We are just going to join the drop, the retracement. That's how we trade it. Just check the direction. So we know our directional bias, which is already in the 15 time frame. We found it in the 15 time frame. Yeah, the directional bias and the market structure, it is bearish. So what do? You move to lower time frame. Since you are in 15-minute time frame, you have to look for your point of interest and inducement where you enter. You have to move to a lower time frame to find it. So you find the directional bias and other entry, the directional bias and market structure on a higher time frame. Then you move to the lower time frame to find what your point of entry and your inducement, because that is where what you enter your trade. So after finding it, I went to the 3 minutes. Most of the time when I find my directional bias on 15 minutes, I look for my point of interest and my inducement on the 3 minutes. When I get it on 30 minutes or 1 hour, that's when I focus on 5 minutes. But here lies the situation where I found my directional bias and market structure on 15 minutes. I find my inducements and points of interest on the 3 minutes time frame. So if you're in the Telegram community, as I said earlier, we had the direction correct. So now we saw that, okay, what did price do? When price moved to the downside, we saw the bigger picture on the higher time frame. That's where you find our buyers. Saw the bigger picture. So this is how price was moving. If you've moved from this was the push down. This was the push down. Let me do it clearly. This was the push down. We did this directional bias and market structure on the 15 minutes. We are now in the lower time frame. Okay, you have to ask yourself the push down, you find because you are waiting for what? Price to retrace. You are just waiting for price to retrace so that we tap in, and we don't just enter in any of the retracement level. We enter on valid retracement level. So this one, the push down, the first retracement, here is it. This breaker block, price break this breaker block. This breaker block is your first. That was our first point of interest in the morning. Let's move to the Telegram community. You have to join the Telegram community where I send updates. I send updates on every entry on the Telegram community. This is the Telegram community. I send the push down. After the push down, the retracement, we marked what? Our point of interest. I always did this. I've marked these 2 points of interest and I sent it to my Telegram community. So if you're not in the Telegram community, you'll be missing a lot. So we had this push down where, oh, okay, we are certain. Now, after we've marked, this was the first point of interest, and the second point of interest was here. That's the other block, right? So this was the 2 points of interest. But here lies the case. price refused to start passing. But when price refused to start passing, if you can really watch closely, this was what price was doing. It was what creating higher highs and higher lows, creating higher highs and higher lows, right? Until what price changed character, right? So price change character. That means you are going to what start moving in what lower in a lower low and lower highs. We have to. I'll speak about this market structure. That's if you are not in the Telegram community, you are going to miss this. I'm going to have a full session, a live session to talk about market structure, how we know the current movement is the market trading upwards or is the market trending downwards. So as you can see, while you wait to be tapped in. I'm already seeing a different structure. This is what market structure. If price is moving in higher high, creating series of higher highs, higher lows, create series of higher highs and higher lows. So before I will think about okay, prices come to what move to the downside. In this scenario, price is what's moving in an upside. So for me to know that prices come to what move to the downside, we call it a change of character. Price should take out this low. When price takes out this low, we put in consideration that okay, price is now beginning to what move in a downside. Then we just continue with the lower lows and trade towards to the downside. So this was what I saw. So when I saw the change of character, I sent it to the community. I sent everything was sent to the community. Everything. When price, as you can see, I marked what the change of character. When price changed character, it was sent to the Telegram community. So if you're not in the Telegram community, you are missing. So after that, we finally found what our entry. This was the entry we sent in the Telegram community. The entry. So after the change of character, let me mark it well so that we all see this was the change of character. So we know that no price is now coming to what move to the downside. So if price comes to move to the downside, we know that if price was moving in this downside, we just have to wait for the retracement. Then we just join it to the downside. We just wait for retracement and join it to the downside, right? So this was what we're all anticipating. We are all waiting to move in. But the first time we mark this zone, price didn't what start passing. So this was the first situation. Price moved to the what? Price moved to the downside. So this was what I was now looking for. Price was creating lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So if price has created what lower lows again, what am I interested in? I'm just waiting for what price to move up again, price to move up. Then I just join the trend because I know that we are now moving what in a downtrend. As I said earlier, if price was creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. For me to realize that prices come to move to the downside, I just wait for price to what take out this low. As you can see, price took out the low here. Price was what moving in an uptrend here, moving on an uptrend. Then price finally took out this low. So if price took out this low, I've now what after now price took out this low, we know that okay, we are come to change to the downside. Prices come to what create lower lows and lower highs, create lower lows and lower highs. So we now know that if price has taken this low now, we have come to start moving to the downside. We have come to start creating what series of lower lows, right? So marking this, you don't just jump in, you don't just jump in and just try to trade, right? So this is how we use the ultimate strategy here. You know, if you know your directional bias, that okay, now we are what we are bearish, right? So look at it closely. Price took out this low. Price took out this low. Price took out this low. And price came to take out this low again. You see, price came to take out this low. So as you know, we are now what? We have not changed. We are moving to what? In a downside. Price is just what? Taking out lows. Taking out lows. So as you know how we do it to the with the ultimate strategy, we now know our directional bias is moving what in a downside. We know our market structure. The market is what bearish. It's now your duty to find what your point of interest and what and your inducement. So this is how I found my point of interest. After they moved to the downside, I realized that let me zoom out. So after price took out this low, this was what the first pullback. We say the first pullback is the inducement. So after price, this was the first pullback. So we mark that pullback. Pullback is what? That pullback is the inducement. We just have to what? Mark the inducement. We mark the inducement out. The first pullback. Then we have to mark our after marking our inducement, we mark out our point of interest. So we marked our point of interest. This was our first point of interest. The structure's price broke. This was our first point of interest. And the second point of we said point of interest. We have to watch the previous videos. We spoke about points of interest. We spoke about that. We said spoke points of interest are what? Order blocks and breaker blocks. And when I say breaker blocks, I'm not going to explain. You have to go to the previous videos. When I say breaker blocks, price just is taking out this low. This when price takes out this low becomes what the breaker block, and this low becomes what the order block, right? So this was the low. Price took out this low. This was a what? A breaker block. Let me do it well for the benefits of others who haven't watched the previous videos. So when price takes out this low, this is what the breaker block entry, and this is what the order block entry. So these points of interest, they are all valid, provided that these points of interest hasn't been what mitigated. When I say mitigated, it didn't. The first pullback didn't tap it in. So as you can see here, the first pullback, it didn't what mitigate the breaker block. It also didn't what mitigate the other block. So these points of interest they were all valid points of interest. Then I said to find the valid points of interest, that's the closest one to the inducement. And the closest one to the inducement was the breaker block. This breaker block was this breaker block. Then what you target your simple 1:3. And target your 1:3, or you target for price to take out this low. But someone asks, we hit what SL on the first entry. That's why you have to watch the previous videos. We spoke about entry criteria. We have two entry models. Ultimate strategy, we have two entry models. The first entry is what the aggressive entry. Immediately price taps your point of interest, you set your limit and enter. And the second point of the second entry criteria is what the confirmation entry, which is right here. So we were taking out on what the aggressive entry. When we're taking out on the aggressive entry, then we entered again on the confirmation entry. Stop loss slightly above the confirmation. A simple 1:3, and we smash what? Simple 300 pips. You smash 300 pips on this simple setup. So you have to what? Understand the four criteria I used to look for my setups and my entry models. So we both can have the same. We can have the same setup, but you know, make profit. I'll make profit because I know my entry models. My first one is what the confirmation. The first one is the aggressive. As soon as price approaches my point of interest, then I enter aggressively. When I hit SL, I wait for confirmation and I'll stack positions there again. So this is how we use. Everything was sent in the Telegram community. So if you're in the Telegram community, you are going to be enjoy a lot of profit. This is it. We were told to hold the position. We held the position. The first one hit SL, and the second one smash full take profit. If you are not in the Telegram community, this was the entry. Everything was sent what in the Telegram community. So you got to go to the Telegram community. You just smash full take profit, and this is how we do it. ObedFX Academy. Everything was sent to the Telegram community. So if you are not in the Telegram community, you are missing a whole lot. So do very well to join the Telegram community. So now let's see if we can do a quick analysis, because I see gold doing creating moves which we can capitalize on. Now let's have a quick analysis. Okay, let's have a quick analysis on gold. Analyze with me. So I have to go to my 1 hour time frame and check my bias. As you can see right now, currently the 1 hour time frame is bearish, and I see a lot of wicks. I see a lot of wicks. Analyze with me how I approach the market. I just want to do a quick analysis with you because the market is still moving. Market is moving. Oh, let's see if we can finish. I can finish my analysis and send the setup to the Telegram community. Send the setup to the Telegram community because they have to get it. That's why you have to you join the Telegram community so that you don't miss any move. You don't miss any move. So you just have to focus on the current trend. Ask yourself, what's the current trend of the market? So this is how the market was moving. Look at it. Price was what? Moved to the downside, came here, came down, came here, did some quick fake out, then now pushed to the upside. So currently, if you're scalping, your 30 minutes, you see, price just created a quick bullish signal. It created a quick bullish signal. So in this scenario, most of the times, I don't bother to move in these short signals. Okay, so look at something like this. Look at something like this. Look at the movement. Look at price movement. Price was what moving in the downside, and now price has moved to the upside. What does it signal? What is price telling you? It's as simple as that. Market structure. Price was what moving in the downside, moving in the downside, and now it has take out this low, this high. So if price takes out this high, you know that we are now come to move what in higher highs. If price takes out this high, we know that what we are now come to move what in higher highs. Price now come to start new directional movement. So it's your point to find what now that I know my directional bias. What do I do? I said I'm a 15-minute time frame, so I move towards 3 minute time frame to find the various points of interest. So yeah, when price took out this high that I've marked, this high that I've marked, when price took it out, when price took it out, look at it very closely. Look at what price was doing. Look at it here. Look at it here. Price was creating a series of lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And now price couldn't continue with the lower highs. And now price was just moved to the upside. So this was the first pullback. That's the first pullback. So this is the first pullback price created. The first pullback. This is the first pullback price created. So now that we have our first pullback, this becomes what? Our inducement. We now have our inducement. The closest one is what? The valid point of interest. So I can move to either the 5 minutes or get my point of interest on the 3 minutes. So if you're on the 5 minute, this will be your point of interest. Let's move to the 3 minutes to get a better one. 3 minute, the closest one. Okay, it wasn't mitigated. So this is our point of interest. So this is our point of interest. You see, so you just have to follow the direction of the market. What is the market doing now? We currently our PC is currently off. So peace out. Join the Telegram community to get this signal. Peace out. This buy signal on gold. Peace out.